and drives a Continental car at the age of 30. Hope to buy a condo to gain status, park funds in stable assets, because his friends are also doing so.
Maverick, we need to have a chat.
Yeah. Which other locations would you all look at if you're Maverick?
I think like D19 is quite a good area to look at, even for like a 2-bedder, because I think at his quantum that he's looking at, probably 3-bedder will be quite a stretch really. I think 2-bedder will be something that is comfortable. So the next persona that we're gonna be talking about is also a single in the spring season, but this time round it's Maverick. It's a gentleman.
He's the true spring.
Income.
True
The
spring.
true spring. I was the fake spring just now.
The happy spring. Just now was the
It's going into the
spring.
summer already. Yeah.
But I mean, it's similar because both of them are single, right? It's
Want to
just that-
matchmake, is it?
Maybe this guy likes that girl. Yeah. This AI generated will be a couple.
Guys, was this AI generated?
Oh
I don't know.
yeah,
AI generated.
AI generated. He looks very handsome, eh? But I think a real person can actually look like this.
I think so too.
Right.
What you see
Looks
on
like a Taiwanese.
But
Looks
just
like
the
a
colour,
Taiwanese
right?
with a
Guys,
Korean hairstyle.
focus.
Okay.
Focus.
Okay, the photo is not the focus, but okay. So the main difference between Charmaine and Maverick is that of course look at his income. There's no numbers in it because he's just a high
Too
income
much
earner.
already.
There's no cap. There's no cap.
Okay.
They're both single. This guy, he could be self-employed in an insurance bank. He can be
有钱人啦，
banker,
有钱人啦
relative
，got money
business
啦
owner.
，got money.
and drives a Continental car at the age of 30. So, like this guy
Well
is the
to do.
Well to do like high
Bachelor.
SES.
high sought after
well-heeled,
bachelor.
yeah.
And then his objective, of course, is to hope to buy a condo to gain status, park funds in stable assets, because his friends are also doing so.
Maverick, we need to have a chat.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So all the Charmaine.
Yeah, all the Charmaine want to talk to Maverick. But okay, but
Yeah.
I think something important for Maverick, right, is also because of his age range.
Yes.
That
He's severely limited to in
he
terms
can't
of
go
his
for
options.
HDB.
lah.
In fact, his options, if he really wants to
only
go
private.
into real estate, is
Yeah.
really just the condo route.
Yeah.
But I think the fear is quite common, and it's very real that the funds will be trapped in the wrong property if he makes the wrong decision, especially
I
if
think
this
many
is
of
like
our
the first time.
clients have these concerns.
First
be
time
they-
buying
yeah,
as well.
Be they single or couple, as long as they're first time, they will have these concerns.
And then his fears, he don't want that his funds to be trapped into a stagnating property to be trapped in the wrong one. And then status is very important.
Again, status.
Yeah. He mentions status a lot of times. So this guy is
Status conscious.
SES,
conscious
high
person.
SES kind of guy. So okay, so let's just give him a name. I don't know, because I
Dallas.
think we're supposed to come up with like actual case studies.
Why
right?
Xiaoming
Let's just
cannot,
give this guy- Okay, whoever knows like
Dallas Maverick.
Dallas Maverick.
Dallas Maverick.
Those who watch basketball will know lah, but if not, then
Oh, was
So
that
we-
how you got the idea?
yeah lah, of course.
Dallas
Okay, his name is Dallas.
Okay.
His income is 10K a month. He's age 30. Can be 30 or 31. Buy into a
And-
condo.
Yeah.
For own stay, intention to sell in 5 years or max 7 years. So he came in with the end in mind. He didn't want to, buy and then, wait and see. His personal life maybe wait and see. You can never force your way through when it comes to happiness. But this is the choice that he can make and he can control. If you buy into a good property, basically you have the opportunity to choose when to sell it. And then if it makes more money in a shorter amount of time, then you can sell it earlier. Right?
And this one, the income, we're also assuming it's a fixed pay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
fixed pay.
Okay.
More stability.
Yeah, just for simplicity.
So he's not a realtor.
No, it might be earning like 12, 13,000, on average. And then because so basically self-employed people, basically when you take a loan, the banks
You
use
got the
a 70% haircut. Yeah, so basically it's 70% of
Okay,
your
so
gross
if let's say
income.
you are a Dallas, in today's season, what do you think should be like the first thing you should consider? If let's say you're at a stage where, okay, I'm ready to go into real estate, but like, how should I start off with? What should be the first?
I think
Propose
it's
to
mindset?
girlfriend with
Yeah.
BTO. No, it's kidding.
I mean,
Single.
if your angle of your perspective is that property has always been 70% investment, 30% own stay, that means you might not be too concerned whether it's renovated or not renovated. Because 70% of that decision comes from whether it makes money in a short amount of time or not.
It's just a numbers.
Correct. It's a numbers game lah. So I think later we will show some choices, what kind of choices it has, across the country.
So you worked out the
Basically, okay, so
affordability.
the first thing you do, to address the affordability,
Yep.
you earn $10,000 and then you have a car, a Continental car, it might be a Mercedes or whatsoever, and then you pay that $1,200 in terms of your loan, and then that amounts your TDSR to be around 819,000, your max loan, 819,000. You can max out in terms of your loan tenure of 30 years. And of course, you're not looking at the two options above, which is resale HDB or EC.
Not even qualified.
Yeah.
Exactly. So only private. Okay, so basically you also have to kind of come up with a budget based on your loan. You can loan up to 809,000, and then if you're looking at probably $1.1 million, your monthly repayment, which is $3,433, and you will have a shortfall in terms of loan. So when you have a shortfall of loan, you can do either pledging or unpledging of funds to show funds. And then, of course, we have also written down what's the pledge amount, what's the unpledged amount. But ideally, your net cash and CPF upfront that you require will be 340,000. So, at age 30, you might have the earning capability because of your, you might be a degree holder, and then you got to a very good job, and then you can increase your income in a very short amount of time. But you will still need time to collate this bit, which I feel that Singaporeans on an average basis, you don't really have that kind of timeline.
In fact, I think a lot of younger homeowners, first-time buyers, right? The loan is always not an issue. It's always the down payment that they need, the cash.
This Dallas guy, he's driving Continental car, so I think his lifestyle.
Because he's a high SES guy.
Yeah, so he's like every night go and drink, go party.
I mean, he can sustain because he's a high income earner. So sometimes, right, we do meet clients that actually request help from family members. Family members, just help me out a little bit, just pass me that cash and CPF upfront. No, CPF you cannot transfer. You can get the cash, and then just repay your family members. At least, right, you get into the private market.
The MF loan, mother father loan.
MF loan.
Did you just come that?
I heard before. Mother father loan.
MF loan.
MF loan.
I only heard of the mother father scholarship.
Scholarship.
Means what?
Means they pay for you, lor. Everything. Like all your uni fees and all that. But MF loan, I have not.
We used to call that silver spoon.
Heard of it.
On the
Wow.
Okay. So basically that's that. Next.
Choices.
Okay, are your choices. So basically at 1.1 million, I'm thinking there are several choices they can go for. A 1-bedder condo in RCR, 2-bed 1-bath in RCR, and 2-bed 2-bath in OCR. So RCR means rest of central region, OCR meaning outside central region.
With his budget, is there anything in CCR?
You can probably get 1-bedder 1.1 million, but it might not be a well-performing one, which is why the price as such. Because
which is why you excluded it from the choices here.
I think my first line of thought is not to go to RCR with this budget. CCR with this budget.
I was thinking because he's so status conscious, then he was to tell everyone like, I live like in CBD.
No, but he did say that the status is because he owns a condo, regardless of where it is.
Okay.
So that's the parameter.
Got it.
And then, so 1-bedder condo in RCR, my guess is that the rental is going to be good. Because the quantum is lower and your capital appreciation, I rank it a 1 out of 5.
That's pretty low.
That's pretty low. Because 1-bedder condo in RCR, you might be looking at 474 square feet, max 500 square feet. And for you to have capital appreciation, I don't think it's just looking at the quantum, but how much time it took for you to gain that bit.
I think in general, we all know 1-bedder, the capital appreciation is very limited.
So you might take 10 years for you to earn like $200,000. Would that be good? On a year-to-year basis, on an annual yield basis, it might not be healthy. 2-bed 1-bath in RCR, the scoring would be, 3 out of 5 for rental.
Quite okay.
Okay, capital appreciation, 3 out of 5. So I put a tick and a cross, meaning it's just meh. It's kind of like just pass. Okay, and then the last one, 2-bed 2-bath in OCR, I give it a 3 out of 5 for rental and then 4 out of 5 for capital appreciation. Why? Because 2-bed 2-bath naturally, I think among all 2-bedder types, it naturally has more demand.
Wider market.
Right? Regardless of rental or regardless of selling it, I think you naturally have a higher demand.
Yep.
Basically 2 bathrooms. When you have 1 bathroom, it's either in the master bedroom, if not, it's in the common bedroom, but with a Jack and Jill design. So usually I think whoever is staying in wants, try to maximize the number of people that can stay in. So you need at least 2 bathrooms and then 2 full bedrooms lah. At least a queen size bed.
If it's for like a rental kind of play, would you all actually suggest like a dumbbell kind of layout? Because 2 bed 2 bath, there's like 2 different types of layout, right? A portrait one and a dumbbell kind of layout. Which one would you all prefer? If let's say this guy is going for rentability.
I think dumbbell.
For me, I think everyone knows Alexa is a dumbbell fan.
Dumbbell.
Be it on stay or tenancy, I just like dumbbell because little wastage of space and each side gets their own privacy. Yeah.
Actually, is there a difference in terms of rental? Like a
I think it's actually
dumbbell.
It boils down to preference, demand and supply for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think rentability wise,
but selling then might be a different story. Yeah. Selling might be a different story. For renting, I think most people are not that picky.
I mean, would tenants actually prefer like to rent like a dumbbell kind?
No, I think we have seen many normal like what do you call it, the portrait style, which also get rented out.
I think tenants mostly do just look at the price.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can fit 2 bedrooms, I think the price matters more than the layout.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so from this rentability, rental yield, the 1-bedder in RCR seems to score the best. But in terms of capital appreciation, then it would be a 2-bed, 2-bath.
But once again, for this guy, he's going to stay in a unit.
Yeah.
So the rental yield is like
But the 1-bedder doesn't allow him to rent out lah.
Correct. That's why I say it's a factor that doesn't really matter to him. So even though it has a take,
he's not suitable. He's not
yeah,
suitable.
It's not a factor that matters to him, even though it's a very positive one.
So ideally, okay, so if we zoom out based on this, right, highest scoring among 10, out of 10 would be 2-bed, 2-bath. So I based on that logic, right, and then went to find in what are possible choices.
Okay, let's take a look.
1.1 to 1.2 million.
What, 294 listings?
294 listings at 1 point. Okay, so the filter is capped at 1.2 million.
Unit.
No dual key, no ground floor, no penthouses. So basically, okay, so why did I exclude those, right? It's because I think we as realtors we did experience difficulties when we were marketing these units because those are what we call like a bit more unique in terms of its features. Basically, the ground floor unit comes with a larger patio. Penthouse units sometimes they come with a duplex. And then the upper floor might be a roof terrace. And dual key units, if it's 2-bedder dual key, I think it's quite odd. And I don't know.
I think must see sometimes the quantum that like you might not even find it is quantum though.
Yeah.
Because normally dual key commands a higher quantum.
Yeah, but I think dual key usually
if it's a decent layout, maybe he can rent out lah.
Dual key. Usually, I feel like dual key unit you can buy if it's at least a 3-bedder or 4-bedder. If it's a 2-bedder dual key, right, both units would seem a little bit too small. And then even if like 900 plus square feet.
It's like shoebox on each side.
Actually, 700 square feet is still quite a good size.
So
the thing is that for dual key, some of the space is wasted in the common foyer.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it's shared.
You know, recently I found out about dual key units, right? There's this layout where the both entrances to the unit, right, they don't share a common foyer.
Then?
So it's like 2 separate entrances along the corridor walkway. Yeah, there's actually such layouts.
Isn't that just 2 units?
But there's actually 1 unit. It's a dual key unit.
With the same unit number.
So that's, yes. So that was like...
Are they connected via the balcony?
No. So it's really very private and very separate.
Which project is this? Can I later drop me a note?
Yeah, that was really because all along I thought dual key, okay, most of the time they share the same foyer. That's right.
It's like HDB jumbo unit lah.
Yeah,
like
two main entrance. Yeah, correct. So and because buyers who are very used to this type of layout, right? In fact, when they see the other type of dual key unit that we're used to, then they think that this dual key is like less ideal because you I have to share the same entrance as my tenant.
I think everyone wants privacy lah.
Yeah, but in fact, it's the other one which is I think it's a minority lah.
Interesting.
Okay, Ferreira Park.
Yeah, so option 1, Ferreira Park. Okay, so like I mentioned, right, location is not the main thing for him. He just wants to own a condo. He just wants to enter it early. Ferreira
He drives
Park.
a car anyway.
Yeah, correct. So Ferreira Park, right, if you look at the location, I think there's 2 new launches. One is older new launch, the Jovel, and then one which is newer at Pasir. So basically, I chose this based on the fact that, now that the entire floral area has been almost completed, all the projects has been there, and the PSF for the older ones, especially if you're freehold, it still makes sense. At 1,002 PSF. And then, of course, Ferreira Park is freehold, complete 209. the number of units is quite healthy.
Yeah.
More than 300 units. So most likely you're going to have, very sufficient in terms of its transaction data in the past year. So healthy volume of transactions.
I like the size.
Yeah, and the size is pretty huge.
Size is very
255.
generous.
This is a 2-bedder.
This is a 2-bedder.
915 square feet.
That's bigger than some 3-bedder.
Yeah, that is like
new
a
launches
3-bedder
now.
kind of
Just
size.
saying.
So I think that, if you don't want what do you call it? To sacrifice in terms of a living space,
Yep.
a 2-bedder must at least be sufficient for you to feel like it's still a home. Because I think my mindset is that you don't want to be too constrained into staying somewhere that's super duper new and then you forgo your living like comfortability.
Yeah. Very,
How
very
comfortable.
livable, very
Yeah.
comfortable.
In fact, this
So-
cluster, I feel, is probably one of the rare few clusters in Singapore where you find freehold with a good density. Because a lot of times, a lot of the freehold projects that you see
Good
good density
like
and good
boutique.
size.
yeah, are like boutique projects. Maybe
Correct.
you have like 20 units, 30 units.
Correct.
In terms of volume transaction,
Very
that's
hard.
lacking.
Yeah, no
Um,
appreciation because no transactions.
Yeah, here you have plenty of choices.
Mm.
Density is good, size is good, but of course the caveat is that you must be okay with the location.
Yeah.
Because of course
He
this
drives.
is towards
You got
yeah.
continental
Correct.
car.
He
Yeah.
drives.
Okay.
So
I
it's
think for
okay
Maverick
because
it's okay.
yeah. So for Maverick it's okay because Flora Drive, if y'all don't know, is closer to the Loyang, Upper Changi area. It's actually very self-sufficient. There's so many projects
Yeah.
there. You don't feel like you're
I got
staying
clients
too
who
far
like
away.
this cluster actually. Yeah.
Like Hedges Park, Carissa, Palm Isle, Park Olympia. So
And the good thing is that you do have like your HDBs like just nearby, so
Just
your
opposite.
potential upgraders.
Towards the Tampines side as well.
Yeah.
And I think at the quantum level, it's pretty
Palatable.
palatable for 915 square feet. So if you realize the 2-bedders over
1,002.
there,
high floor, 8th floor.
It sees a growth, right? 2023, 2024, in a single year, they grew by 200, almost close to 200 PSF.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I believe, right, 2024, why did it grow at that rate? Probably due to new launches. And because Cassia is not completed yet, so ideally when Maverick buys into this,
the TOP.
he can probably look out, to sell it due to the TOP effect from
yes.
Cassia.
From Cassia. In fact, Cassia was doing very well. I think at the
very, very well. So it's one of
launch.
the lowest PSF you can get for a freehold project. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, basically these are some of the reasons lah. Healthy transaction volume, sizable 2-bedder, freehold, and then there's disparity in terms of when you compare to the new launches. Joan
Right,
and
after this
Cassia.
episode, and then tomorrow all the Real Park, the 2-bedder listings all gone. Hey, please come and share.
But I mean, okay, but ultimately, right, I think whether you go for a new launch or a resale, it really depends on what are you looking at.
Yeah.
Because for 2-bedder in Farrer Park, you might need to do some reno. It might not be a moving condition, and because it's not new.
TOP 209.
209.
Okay.
So some it's been some time.
15 years since it's completed.
But of course, but also rental is subjective. Like if you don't just need to do the basics, it's not going to cost that much. But if you want to do a lot of heavy cabinetry, then be lah. But Maverick, if you're intending to move in for a short time and leave for appreciation,
5 years.
don't need to spend so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can stay forever. Lah. Let's put it this way. I think you would need to exit.
Unless he's working in Changi Business Park.
or Changi Prison.
Changi.
Maybe.
If let's say he doesn't want to go too outskirts, then your next option is actually a bit more towards
Ooh,
B19
I like this
side.
area. Very
Look at that,
convenient.
Sengkang Grand Mall.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Sengkang Grand Mall?
Yes.
Wow. Very convenient. Look at
Convenient.
all the food options you have there. Wow, I tell
Only
you.
thing is it could do with indoor aircon lah, because the whole place is like open.
It's like an outdoor mall.
Outdoor
I think it's a
mall.
new concept for like retail malls to have that kind of concept.
Sustainability.
My body cannot
Yeah.
sustain the
No
heat.
aircon.
But okay.
But it's not the entire thing.
But no matter what, it's convenient lah, because down there you got the MRT station, and then right there you have the mall. So
Yeah.
I think it's very convenient.
But I didn't suggest Sengkang Grand residence. I said
because of the PSF lah, must
Because
be.
of the
Yeah,
PSF.
so let's take a look.
So my thinking is that usually I try not to go into a project which is the highest PSF in that certain locale unless I'm pretty certain there's going to be new launches in the near future.
to help bring up lah.
Yeah. So I chose the second youngest, which is Jewel at Buangkok.
So Joan has a yeah, because I was like, down there actually there's quite a few, right? Like Asperina and things like that.
I chose basically the second one. lah.
Okay,
So and then of course locale wise you see the quads, Asperina, Buangkok, Jewel at Buangkok and Sengkang Grand. Those are the closest that is to Buangkok MRT station.
Yeah, you just cross the road only.
Yeah. So this is very young. Number of units similarly more than 300.
Pricing is about 1,006.
1,006 PSF.
Okay.
And I think this is okay.
Latest transaction is also about...
No, okay, so you
Yeah.
click. So what, on the left is Sengkang Grand. On the
okay.
right is Joan and Buangkok. If you realize, look at the PSF they've been transacted at. 1,009 to 2,000 for Sengkang Grand. Joan at Buangkok, 1,006 to 2,007.
So about a $200 to $300 disparity.
So it's around 400 in terms of PSF disparity. So, but you get to experience the same proximity to the MRT station. Slightly similar. I mean, Sengkang Grand, the MRT is just downstairs. Joan and Buangkok, maybe you
just walk 2 minutes, just walk across the road.
Yeah. And it's relatively young.
It's not too far away.
It's not far at all. It's not far at all.
So, and I think it's slightly bigger. The 2-bedders at Joan and Buangkok, you can find something which is 700 plus square feet.
That's decent.
Sengkang Grand is 600 plus.
Oh.
So,
it's the same
also because
Grand 2-bed 1 or 2-bed 2.
2-bedders, maybe you look at 6, 7, 8 square
yeah.
feet. That's 1.34 million. And then Joan and Buangkok, you can find something at 1.2. So I mean, quantum does play a part when you are thinking of purchasing the 2-bedder, especially when the attributes and the inherent characteristics is pretty similar. Yeah. So I think those are my 2 choices. Would you all pick the same, or which other locations would you all look at if you're Maverick?
I think like D19 is quite a good area to look at, even for like a 2-bedder, because I think at his quantum that he's looking at, probably 3-bedder will be quite a stretch already. I think 2-bedder will be something that is comfortable. D19 is an area where there's still a lot of transactions ongoing. Of course, for 2-bedder, you may not be really going for like HDB upgraders, but I think the area is well developed enough. You have malls at every single MRT stop. Proximity to town, to city centre is still quite convenient. So I think for 2-bedders wise, D19 is quite a good area. In fact, another location that I might look at is also maybe towards the Potong Pasir side as well, because you have Toy Centre, which is not a very, very upscale mall, but you still have some amenities, facilities. Towards Dhoby Ghaut is also very convenient. I think D19 is one area. Otherwise, probably Pasir Ris.
Yes, I was thinking at D18.
Pasir Ris 8?
Pasir Ris area. This price, I think Pasir Ris 8 2-bedder.
You can get 2-bedder.
Can get at around
1.1 can get, 1.2 can get.
Then I think Pasir Ris 8 will be Pasir Ris
I think if you
area.
enter into an integrated development, is at a lower entry price. I think it's fairly safe to say that you can the appreciation potential is definitely there. Because I think there's only a handful of integrated developments in Singapore. So to move into one where your proximity to the MRT station is just literally downstairs. And of course, being integrated, you also have the bus interchange. You also have a mall. So I think integrated developments would make sense if the entry price is correct.
No, but even not about Pasir Ris 8, but just the surrounding Pasir Ris, there's this entire enclave of condos that are just about 10 years old. You know, the Dines Palette area. I think those condos are done very nicely as well. So even though if status is very important to him, I think he'll be comfortable there. Plus the fact that down there's a lot of BTOs coming out and it's near MRT station. And then now you got the Pasir Ris Mall, and after that you're going to have a cross island line. So if he's thinking about staying for a while and then waiting to appreciate, right? I don't.
You see a very livable area.
Yeah, and a very livable area because I think down there your 2-bedders at least 770, 780 square feet. So I think exiting and appreciation is not going to be an issue.
If he doesn't drive the Continental car, I think at 10K per month, you can probably loan to $1 million. So you can probably loan $1 million, and then your quantum will be different. It might be at a $1.3 million mark.
Correct. And then also the bonus is that when you talk about all these different areas, right, you also talk about different lifestyle. Like for Pasir Ris area, right, talking about the beach lifestyle, you know, the lifestyle vibe. So if he really wants to enjoy life, there's an area to consider. Then if he wants like I don't know, what are the other vibes for the other areas? Like Jewel and
East Coast.
Yeah, like the areas that you recommended.
I think Pasir Ris is a nice enclave because it's not too overcrowded like your East Coast part. It has everything you need: a mall, upcoming transformation MRT line, a lot of very well performing HDB that are over there as well. So I think that is a good area to look at. But I think overall, just to sum up for Maverick, because he's also in this age range where he knows he can't qualify for HDB, if his financial ability really allows him to do the proper planning and enter into the real estate market soon, I think that is something that all the Mavericks out there should really pay close attention. Of course, do all your financial prudency check. Speak to your banker, speak to your consultant to ensure that financially you're able to afford, and then you go down to specific property selection, looking at your time horizon and exit plan.
And the interesting thing about his age, right, is that if he buys at 30, 3 years later, 33, he does another property
they
at
actually
36.
still got one more round. Before
if he wants to
tenure,
go, if he wants to go into the HDB route at age 35 or 36.
Essentially, I think that
Being
really
young.
explains why sometimes when we kind of advise people to get into the private market earlier if you can. Of course, because of the waiting period.
Yes.
The waiting period is definitely shorter.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't feel it until the moment when, they can actually sell. Then they start to think of what are the choices that they have.
Yeah, I think in property, age is definitely an asset. They're not talked about enough. I mean,
I
you
think
talk
Josh
about
mentioned
cash.
this before, age is a currency.
Oh, I don't have much of it.
So
options.
So I think Maverick versus Charmaine, right? Both of them, although they're both being single, their desires and their objectives are different.
Yes.
But when we advise based on when we have clients that have similar kind of profile, we do also highlight to them that, whichever choice that you choose, you need to factor in the possibility of lifestyle changes. Because if you don't do that and then you solely focus on yourself, and then sometimes if your lifestyle change, it might be difficult to tweak. That's where real estate in this sense be a bit more illiquid because you can't just next day you just sell it and then you just get a return.
Yeah, because of all the different measures. And I think one thing to note is that, in Singapore, it's very common to compare to the people around you who you're working with. Like, they bought this house, they bought a condo, should I be at that stage also, and this kind of things. And we have clients asking, am I making the right decision, the wrong decision, blah, blah, blah. I think what's important to note is that instead of saying whether you're making the right or wrong decision, you need to ask yourself, what are your personal goals and needs first? Person's A's right decision may be the absolute wrong decision for you, even though you may have the similar kind of profile. I think that's more important to take note of, because I have met buyers who got caught up in the hype. They go to new launch, everyone putting down checks, so I also want to put down, cannot FOMO. And in the end, they regret it because they realized actually ultimately the unit type didn't.
They bought hastily.
Unit type didn't fit them, location was totally off. And then now they want to sell off to buy the HDB, but you buy private, you still need to wait out don't know how many months before you buy a HDB. So they're kind of like trapped in that kind of thing. And it's a sub-sale unit, so it's even more difficult to sell because you can't view. So a lot of things like that.
Yeah. So I think all in all, it's important to know what are your priorities, because everyone's priorities are very different.
Property goals are different.
Property goals, you may be in different seasons of life. Maybe at this point, you really want to focus on accumulation of all your savings. Maybe in a later stage, you are focused on building your own family, looking at maybe some of the options that you consider in terms of property selection may be quite very different. Now, we may just be looking at numbers. In future, when you have families, you have kids, we might be looking at the schools. How long does your kid take to travel to school? How long do they take to visit their grandparents' place? Is it convenient? So all this are the micro selection factor. But I think the beauty of our local real estate market is that there are options, whether you are a Charmaine, whether you are a Maverick, there are options for you depending on your budget, depending on the location that you're comfortable with. So I think there are plenty of choices for you out there, but most importantly, really work with a consultant and your team that you're comfortable with to really identify the best option that you have at this point in your life. So there are still a couple of other personas and case profiles that we
in
will
upcoming
be
episodes. I think
All of them are very good looking.
in our upcoming episodes, I think our other colleagues will share more. But hopefully today, in today's episode, Yong Zhun, Joan and me, we have shared about our two spring profiles, Maverick and Charmaine. And if you fall into one of these profiles, we hope that our insights have given you some food for thought.
Yeah, maybe a different perspective to consider some of the things that you might have missed out, which are also still very important. If you're also keen to also hear a little bit more in terms of the different case studies, like if let's say you're in your summer season, you're in your autumn season, or maybe you're in the winter season, you're thinking about legacy planning, these are the different personas that we'll be chatting a bit more in the next few episodes. So we hope to see you there. But I think that pretty much wraps up for this episode today, and we'll see you on the next one.
And for now, we're signing off.
I'm Alexa.
I'm Yong Zhun.
Joan.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
No, they won't.
self sign off. Sweet for you, sir.
来，对我。